Game. I have a special guest with me, Antoine Mason.
Well,
This,
thanks for having me.
yes, sir, bro. So, can you give us a little introduction or tell us about yourself?
Antoine Mason from Queens, New York. Uh, went to New Rochelle High School and full scholarship to Niagara University. Junior year, second in the nation in scoring. Transferred my last year to Auburn University, and I played basketball overseas.
Yeah, this man, I seen this man putting in work. And he definitely has grind in here. That's why this episode today, no pain, no gain. Like he's really impact people, and he's really special for this episode. So, do you want to give like a little background on how we met?
So we met um, at the YMCA. Our good sister in Christ, Teresa, introduced us. And
Shout out to Teresa.
yeah, we just been working out since then. Both of us have a passion for basketball, try to get better. So we just start, challenging each other, making sure we're on top of our games.
Yes, sir. So to get into the episode, no pain, no gain. No pain, no gain means the achieving goals, particularly in fitness or personal development, which we both work on as well. It often requires hard work, sacrifice, and facing and overcoming challenges. It implies that without enduring some discomfort or effort, you won't see significant process or improvement. So, what does no pain, no gain means to you?
Uh, Pretty much my life. My dad, uh, God rest his soul, Anthony Mason, he played for the New York Knicks, uh, Charlotte Hornets, Miami Heat, Milwaukee Bucks. So, you know, growing up, superhero to me. Everybody was like, "Oh, do you know that's your dad? Like he plays in the NBA." To me, he was just my dad. I looked at him as just him and my mom as my superheroes. And as I started my journey in basketball, I was in his shadows. When I was younger, people thought I was going to be 6'8" like him, so they had me at the four, which was a blessing because one, he taught me how to play the four, and I take that as an advantage now because I could post up ball guards and things like that and guard bigger players. But I was kind of like in his shadow. Everybody wanted me to be him, and I always wanted to just be myself. I wanted to be Antoine Mason, Anthony Mason's son, and not, oh, that's Anthony Mason's son, Antoine Mason. I
You
wanted
want to
to
make a
make
name
a
of
name for
yourself.
myself.
Yeah.
So, yeah, as I was growing up, I was the younger brother. My brother went to St. John's and everything like that. So, you know, I wanted to be better than both of them. So it was the challenge of, all right, I'm not as tall as them, but how do I, make a bigger impact? I had to tap into my skills. My dad challenged me a lot. One thing I would say is he never pressured me. My parents never pressured me into playing the sport. They actually introduced me to the sport last. They
Mm.
threw every sport towards me, but after every tryout, practice, and everything, I did well. Whatever. Always picked up a basketball. I always wanted to, play. So by the time I got to high school, I asked my dad, can he work me out? And he was like, all right, like if I work you out, it's gonna be like sacrifice, dedication, all that. Like you're gonna have to put that work in. And there's no like I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I'll tell you how it is. I'm gonna push you to your limits. And I accepted the challenge. And I remember being recruited by big schools, like a bunch of Big East schools, my junior year. And then I had a stress fracture in my tibia, and they all just stopped messaging me, stopped writing me letters. And I was like, all right, cool. And mid-major schools like Niagara and a bunch of other schools stayed in touch. And Niagara just really like showed me a lot of attention. Like they came to practice, they checked in on me. And then by the time my senior year, I took off, flourished, and then those big schools came back and oh yeah, we're interested. Oh, you have a scholarship, blah blah blah. I was like, nah, I'm somebody that's dedicated and loyal to like a fault, probably too much. Like if somebody shows me loyalty, I have their back for life. So that's why I really chose Niagara because they expressed from day one that they wanted me, and it worked out to my favor because I said every year I progressed, every year I got better, and in my uh, redshirt junior year, I led the nation in scoring. My freshman year, my true freshman year, I was leading us in scoring the first 3 games, but then I had a stress fracture in my foot. So it was, another adversity I had to overcome. And I was like, you know what? It is what it is. When I get back on the court, I'm going to be better. Always in my mind, if I have a setback, I just want to reflect on, you know, what God blessed me with, having chance, opportunity to play the game I love or, anything in life. And then, I feel like sometimes when you get hurt or things like that, gives you a time to like, reflect, go back to him, realize how much he is in your life. So after my injury, I took off. Then I had a decision. I had a 5th year option, and I could go to any school. I could have stayed and broke the record in Niagara for all-time leading scorer, but I wanted to challenge myself. So I went to Auburn, knowing that it was going to be a big leap, playing in the SEC against Kentucky, Florida, all those teams. And I was doing well. Actually, first game I had a high ankle sprain and then a boot for a couple of weeks, missed 6 or 8 games. But then I came back and dominating. And I always felt like I never had my 5th year, my senior year, because then my dad got sick and he was in a hospital. So when he went to the hospital, I flew back in town, and I honestly wasn't even thinking about basketball. I told him like, I'm here until you get out the hospital. He just shook his head like no, because at that time he couldn't talk. He had a tube down his throat, so he couldn't talk at that time. And I was like, "You want me to continue?" And he just shook his head yes. I was like, "All right, I'm playing for another purpose." And yeah, that the rest of the season was just like a blur to me. Like I want to say the next game we played was against Kentucky. Had Devin Booker, Carl Anthony Towns, Trey Lyles, all those that big unit, and I scored 29 against them. I don't even remember that game. I just knew if I was going to leave my dad's bedside, it was going to be for a reason. And on top of that, before I went to Auburn, he was joking with me playing against Kentucky. Like, sure, you ready for that? Like nobody on this earth could guard me. So I was like, all right. Like when I step on that court, it's for a reason. And then unfortunately, he ended up passing away during the season. Like I mentally checked out. Like I didn't want to play. I went home for a couple of weeks, and I said I had 2 superheroes. Like everybody hears my dad's story, 'cause NBA, but my mom, she's my backbone still. He's not. He wouldn't want you to just sit here mope about him. So I did say he was going to finish it. So get back out there. Got me back on the court, and I had a good rest of the season. Played really well, and then going into the process of the NBA, the only thing I didn't know about, like basketball wise, I knew I was ready. The only thing I didn't know about was agent, and kind of got set back by choosing a certain agent that I chose. Kind of didn't help me in my career to start off with, but like I said, always setbacks that you have in life. I just been grinding ever since. and making sure that, you know, every time I step on the court, I'm trying to reach my goal, and my goal is still to make it to the NBA. And when I play against NBA players or anybody, I'm on the court. I show them that I'm more than talented to make it, but you just got to stay patient. I know God always says, just trust in Him, and everything else will follow.
Yeah, you said a lot that I also want to touch on in this episode, talking about the pillars. I hear a lot of pillars when in your story as well. So do you know the pillars, the 5 pillars?
Uh,
All right. So first, Thursday, God comes first, always.
Mhm.
Then you have mental. Leaders are readers. We have to continue reading. We have to gain our knowledge. So then the third is physical. We working on our physical bodies. We going through pain. Like that's pain. We releasing the weakness. Then we have the emotional. We got to keep our emotions in check as well. I know I'm a very competitive player, but it's always good to just have that emotion because a lot of people make bad decisions when their
Mhm.
emotions are wild. And then we have financially, money comes last on the list. So, with that being said, you discussed some of your physical pain. I had a question like, what pillar have you experienced pain in, and how did you grow through that? I know you talked about physical, you had emotional pain with your dad as well, so we already covered that. But I wanted to like go deeper in with the pillars. So spiritually, I wanted to ask like, how is like your connection with God?
My connection with God, it definitely got stronger when my dad passed. I know they always say don't question uh, why he does things, but it was a real hard time to lose the person I look up to, the person I talk to every single day. Um, I had questions, but I just started reading the book more and just start regaining more faith into him, and it kind of shaped my life because when I lost my dad, I was 22, just becoming a man. So it was either a go down the wrong path, or I'm a continue to honor both of my parents, my family, do the right things, try to do the right things every single day. And then yeah, I face more challenges because, like I said, I play overseas in my career, doing really well. And during COVID, when I was in Spain, uh, I have my best friend. His name is also Antoine, and we grinded every single day. Worked out. We found the hoop that wasn't taken down, and we got shots up. So we did that until I went out to Spain, and we always messaged each other on IG or text or whatever. And then he passed away, and that really took a toll on me because I'm over there, Spain, couldn't fly back. All I could do in Spain was practice, go home, basketball, go home, basketball, go home. So I didn't really have like anything else to do. And then I lose on top of that my best friend that I talk to every single day. So that was another challenging moment. And I know he's still here with me in spirit. Both of them, I could still feel their presence. And then, you know, that year in Spain wasn't my best year, but it actually made me better because after that experience, I said I would never let somebody dictate how I play or how I impact the game. So that made me tap into every aspect of my game and to get better at that, and still motivates me. And I was in Jordan and I was playing well. Um, Everything was smooth. And I got a call from the Nets G League, and they really wanted me. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna tell my team in a week that I'll leave out, because after that week it was like they have European breaks where they
Mhm.
go back home and qualify for their national team. So I was like, all right, um, I'll go to the G League then. And then I also had another option because the national coach from Jordan, he really liked me, so he wanted me to play and qualify with them in Dubai. And I was like, yo, I always wanted to go to Dubai. I was like, all right, just give me a week to figure it out. But I was obviously going to lean towards the G League, getting in there. Everybody was moving up that year, and goal is to play in the NBA. The next game, up 17, playing great, almost had a triple double. Last 2 minutes, I ruptured my Achilles.
Oh yeah, I remember you
And
talking about that. Like it
yep,
was no contact, right?
no contact. It was just felt like a freak accident, like somebody kicked me in the back of my leg. I literally looked at the ref like, what type of sport are we playing? And I realized I was by myself, and I was like, this is exactly what Kobe just said. There's no way. And I stood up, and it just felt like my foot was like on a hill, but it was flat. And I took 2 steps, and I was like, I probably shouldn't be walking on this. So then I hopped across, and the adrenaline, I didn't feel no pain, thank God. But then after the game, they did a full test. It was like, yeah, you fully ruptured your Achilles. And I'm on FaceTime with my mom, like, we won the game. I think I ruptured my Achilles. She was like, don't say that. I was like, that's what they're saying. And then they tested it, and yeah, that came out to be. So then I was just pissed. It just sat in like, I'm not going to get my opportunity to be in the G League right now. That's at least 6 to 8 month process of like coming back from basketball.
Yeah, that's definitely a process.
Yeah.
Then speaking of the spiritual, now we are at the mental now. So like, how do you like maintain that mental toughness like when you have physical setbacks or
My coach at that time, it was weird. Both my head coach and my assistant coach, they ruptured their Achilles before.
Mm.
I'm like, what's going on in Jordan? Like, why is everybody rupturing their Achilles? But um, my assistant coach was like, just stay positive, write down all small goals, and then just keep building up from that. So I'm a competitive person by nature. So I wrote down my goals, my little goals, and then like big goals. And I had the surgery out there. And right after the surgery, once I was cleared to like go home, I was in the cast. One of my teammates actually stayed with me to help me, but I was so motivated. One, I didn't want to get out of shape, and I had in my mind that I was still in season. So I was working out every single day. Everything I could do besides put pressure on that leg, I was doing push-ups, sit-ups, all that. And my teammate was like, bro, you're crazy. You just got out of surgery. I was like, nah, I'm not in surgery. I'm in recovery right now. So
that mindset?
yeah, so throughout that whole process, I truly believe staying positive and me competing with myself really helped me recover early. I came back playing on the court 6 months or a little less than 6 months because I believe of all that mental positive energy that I had. It was able to heal me and speed up the process. And then yeah, I've been going from there. When I went to physical therapy, the first thing I said, shout out to Jess, the first thing I said was, I want to be better than I was before. I wasn't looking to get to the same point. I wanted to be better. So mentally, I knew I was better. And like I said, everything happens for a reason because I believe from my injury, it made my jump shot better because I was just sitting in a chair. Like I said, I was still in the mindset of a season. I couldn't move around, but I was sitting in a chair just shooting. It was getting my arc higher, getting it, like getting my reps. And
During that time, mentally, was it ever a time that you didn't believe in yourself or you had self-doubt?
it was probably frustration when I finally got out the boot, got out the cast, got out the boot, and then starting the process. When I took my first step and realized, my leg was tight, and you take things for granted. You wake up every day, just walk, talk, see things, just take things
Facts.
for granted. And my first step, I said, one is super tight and it just feels weak. I was like, this is gonna be a process. But then I got right back into it. I was like, nah, I'm not gonna have any negative energy. Like it is what it is. I'm
Positive
gonna
energy
make
is
this,
important.
yeah, I said, I'm gonna make this better. Like if she says do 10 reps, I'm gonna do 15. Like I was just challenging myself, like to the point of not hurting yourself again, but like making sure that I could push myself to another limit, another aspect of my life that I could achieve.
Mentally right now, what do you think is that right now? Do you have like that the lion mentality, that mama mentality right now, or do you think you still need to work on it?
Oh no, I don't think anybody could guard me still. And now, like I said, I believe and I know I'm a better player. Um, like I could score. That's just God given ability that I know I can naturally score. But now I'm doing more things than I did before my injury. Getting rebounds. I'm able to read the game more. Like I did so much studying, watching games, just watching players, watching games, seeing how people move, seeing how um, like Kobe was after his injury, seeing how Durant was after his injury, and then Clay Thompson and all that. And I was like, all right, like right now, you can't tell anything happened to KD. Like, so I was like, all right, how did he get to his spots? How does he do this? Blah blah blah. And then yeah, like I have a mentality every single day that I want to get better, and it's like if anybody follows me on IG, they start seeing the stories every single day of me in the gym, and
But
I don't
the
know,
100 days, you did the 100 days
yeah,
well.
yeah. So I don't know. It just started one day in the gym. I was like, you know what? I always train, and athletes always train, but I was like, every single day, I'm really gonna put in my mind, I want to get better than the day before. So first day I did it, I was like, oh, day one. Second day, I was like, let's be better than that day. I just kept building on it,
From
and
that
it
one
was
day to day one,
yeah,
be 1% better.
brick by brick.
Shout out Deontay.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, like it was days that I didn't want to get in the gym, my body sore or whatever, and
Mhm.
I was like, I set a goal for myself, and that is no turning back. It's no sugarcoating or anything like that. Like I'm dedicated, I'm focused. I have an assignment, so I just kept pushing, and then you know the biggest thing you could do is challenge yourself and get better and mentally get better and overachieving and things like that. So when I start mentally getting stronger, like I'm not taking that day off. I'm in the gym and I'm gonna be better than the day before. Just start seeing a growth in my confidence, start seeing things in my game, recognizing like certain things in my body and just, achieving something like 100 days and more um, starting at day one. Like it seems crazy to think about. Like, yo, let's do something in 100 days. You got to start at day
Yeah, and I sent
one.
you the episode. You watched
Yeah,
it?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
because I felt like you could resonate with it. But also mentally, like your mentality is you have a great mentality, and I also see it in with your workouts and as well. But mentally, the mental part also has to do with knowledge. So,
Hmm.
like, do you read like any books or anything?
Yeah, I read books. I was reading this Giannis book of like just how he started in life, where he was in Athens, didn't have anything. He had to walk uh, miles to get to the basketball gym, and then when he got there with his brother, he had to share shoes with his brother because they weren't the wealthy family. Just seeing or reading his story of how he had to, make sacrifices and, to get to where he is now. And then when he got to the NBA, his rookie season, he was just giving back money to all of his all of his family, where he gave so much that he didn't even really have much. It just brings you, like it enlightens you to like see like you're playing for more than yourself. Um, everybody has somebody that they looked up to or somebody that they care for. Just want to be the best version of you. And then I also read this book, hate that I forgot the name of it, but it was more of the mental aspect of like overachieving, finding your zone, like getting into that zone, like when you get hot in a game
Mhm.
and you just mentally get in that zone, how to get in that zone, like just in life.
So, like, to a point, like, it's like second nature.
Yeah, it's second nature and try to stay in it as long as you can. Um, I'm gonna get back to you on that book, but uh, just reading on it, he was just really saying that if you put it in your mind, and then once you start, you know, um, mentally getting there, finding ways to remain there. They talked about like doing yoga and things like that, where you start finding your inner self. And life is chaotic sometimes. It could get chaotic, but if you could find your peace during those moments where you're not overreacting on certain situations, you know, if you could think about it before reacting, things like that. So that book really helped me. And it's been times after reading that book where just in life, you know, certain things, life be life and certain things be happening and you want to react quick. Cause I when I was younger, I used to go off of emotion, react without thinking. Now, think about it. Um, if I'm ever angry, I give a 48-hour rule where, you know, if it was worth even saying whatever 48 hours, then you talk about it, but address it in a right manner. And then half of the time, 48 hours, you're not even thinking about it anymore. Like if I would have reacted then and like say I damaged a relationship for words I said or whatever, was it worth it? No. So, you know, I'm just trying to be the best version of me.
Yeah. And when we talk about reading books, I know it's one thing to read a book, but it's also you have to apply it as well.
Mhm.
I can name a situation that you applied what you just said because you was talking about Giannis. But anything that comes to your mind that you applied, what you read, and I'm gonna give my perspective of that as well.
Uh,
You talking about in the zone or talking about the story of Giannis.
there's a lot of books that, resonate in me, but there's probably words that came from my parents that like really sit with me. Like my mom used to ask me, like, "Are you afraid of being great?"
Mm.
And that stuck with me. My dad, he always said, if if you could push yourself, he would give a little more. Like, is it like if you finish your workout, if you think you could give a little more, can you do it during and not think about it after? Can you just give it all? So, like with my parents, I'd be like, all right, like I have to when I'm working out, just or in life, just try to reach my max potential and go above and beyond of what I think I could do.
Yeah, one thing that resonated with me when you was talking about the Giannis story is when you talk about him giving his brother's shoes,
Yeah,
and I see you as a brother as well, and I know like I wasn't probably like I'm not like less fortunate like them. I have sneakers, but you also like gave me some shoes as well, so
yeah,
I appreciate that, and I also like feel like we're put on this earth to serve people as well, so I see that in you as well, and that's why I love like I feel like the five pillars are really important because that's all we're talking about right now is the five pillars. I feel like every human needs to live by those five pillars. And we talked about basically all of them. We talked about you talk about your emotions as well as a kid,
mhm.
how you're getting over your emotions. And we talked about the physical pillar, the physical hurt, the spiritual. And financially, to wrap this up, was there ever time that you felt like probably like broke or like you was like less fortunate?
Uh, well, thank God I had like you know parents that had money throughout, but there's been times personally for me that I want to have more, and then I felt like, all right, I don't have the financial amount that I want, but I try to figure out how to get there. And for me, financially, I'm not one to like care about money. Like I will give you my last dollar. I want to, like you said, we're here to serve. I want to help people. Like that satisfies me. And for me is I want to financially build up where yes, I'm good, but I want to make sure my family's good where they don't have a care in the world. And I'm going to achieve it. It's no doubt in my mind. In different aspects, like God has blessed me with, different skill sets. So it's just for me to lock in, focus on certain avenues and just, you know, achieve my dreams.
What are your dreams?
Uh, well, I talked about it. One's making it to the NBA. Um, I know they talk about, age and all that. But if I'm killing you, I'm killing you. So, like for me, it's like all I need is an opportunity. I know once that door opens, I'm gonna be ready. So I just stay ready. Another goal of mine is um, making sure my family's good. They don't have to care about anything. And people say, "Oh, don't give just money or whatever." For me, it's not about giving money; it's to open up opportunities for them where they could make money for themselves as well. Um, like like they say, you could if you give a man fish for whatever they eat it for the day, but if you teach them how to fish, they could feed themselves for life. So I just want to make sure that I'm financially able to help people in a way where they are able to financially support themselves. They could pass it down to their kids. Just generational wealth would my main goal.
Any last words before I wrap this up?
Uh,
You want to say to people, say to the world?
Believe in God, trust God. He will direct your path. Times in life, especially in my life, where get hit with crossroad of do you overreact? Do you go down a certain path, or you just trust him? Sit still sometimes and listen to his ways. He'll direct your path. Don't be too emotional. Don't get too highs with your highs, too lows with your lows. Stay even killed.
This is Brick by Brick. I just want to encourage people to stay focused, continue working on your five pillars, brick by brick. Continue to lay that one brick at a time, and eventually you look up, you see a brick wall. Don't stop. Always get 1% better. I want to thank Antoine, future NBA player. He is an
Yes,
NBA
yes.
player. I can say he is an NBA player because I know he's going to make it. I seen his work. I seen his mentality, like firsthand, is in person, and he also motivates me and inspires me. And thank you, bro, for coming here.
I appreciate you, my brother.
Thank you. And we out.